guys, I spent a day with you, the whole day, and you're not only co-workers, but you also like each other. I might say, you're friends.
Yeah, we are.
So I would like to ask you, how did you meet?
I think Pascal should answer. I think that's for Pascal first to
Sure.
answer.
So when I wrote the script for the role of Liv, it was not Sarah, it was someone else. And the script was completely different because, as you can see, she has a very striking, strong look, and but it's a good thing. So when I saw her, I was so amazed by her talent, but mostly just her physical. Compared to the first actress that I had, she was more soft and nice. But then, so when I saw Sarah, because I had to let go of the other actor, I said, Sarah, give me 1 week, let me change the whole script to make it fit with your personality. And because when you write a script or when you direct a film, you need to make sure that the performance match her personality, at least for me. I always say that acting is 90% her, 10% acting. So yeah, so that's why I said dress, the way she's dressed, that's how she dressed in real life. And I said, that's perfect. You look like a rock star, you look intense, cold, Swedish. And so yeah, we started working on it, and it was just, it was amazing. After that, we did another film together.
But then, I then opened up my Facebook and I had a message from this Canadian director.
Yeah, it was a creep.
And I said, yeah, one of the creeps. I was like, yeah, this is not going to work. And then you didn't stop and you sent more things and clips and say, no, it's actually me. So I said, okay, it's you. So how do I know it's you? I watched then a video on YouTube where Pascal was interviewed, and yeah, they were some kind of interview.
Yeah, and so overall that film, everything that you saw, it was all done without a crew. I did everything alone, from casting, location, money, directing, preparing everything via distance on, finding the location on Google, sound, music, editing, everything. So it was just me with a sound person on set. But when you watch the result, you have no idea, at least you hope, that you have no idea that it was done like that. And that's kind of been my style for 25 years, how to make something that looks big around the world with absolutely nothing. And so this film I wanted to make, that was a challenge. I wanted to, after my first 2 feature films, I wanted to do something completely different. And so I said, let me write a script where on paper it's so freaking boring because it's just people talking. But I said, with the camera, with the style, with the camera was a character in the film. The location was a character. The music was a character. And so I said, why not make it more complicated? Let's do 3 stories, 3 countries, 3 languages. I don't speak Swedish. I don't speak Icelandic. And but it was that film just started something for me, because I shot 6 more feature films after that, and it's the same style, same camera movement. I just loved everything about it. And you work with amazing actors around the world, but it was just a beautiful experience. But mostly that was my test to just, can I make this film for $7,000? And so when we watch the film, that was the trick, to make everything look as big as possible with absolutely nothing.
So we've got the actress, so I would like to ask how it is working with Pascal. Did you improvise a lot, and did the script was influenced somehow by your life? I know that you're also a singer, so how it was during the acting?
I think you sent us a script first with the whole stories, but then because we were speaking in our own languages, French, Swedish and Icelandic, we then had to translate what Pascal wanted to say into our own languages, which made it really, I think, wonderful for me, because then I worked with the script very intensely, and I had the artistic creativity to actually express what I wanted to say, but with his meaning. So of course, then you always know everything by heart and it's in you. But then it was quite wonderful, because then we met the day before the first shooting. Now we worked a lot together and we know each other extremely well. But then it was very interesting how you could, even without knowing you don't speak Swedish, Pascal could see very clearly what we meant. So it was more nearly because you knew all the scenes and the story by heart. So it made it even better sort of directing, which is a very different kind of directing when he doesn't speak my language. But you understood because it was more important because you understood what I was actually supposed to say.
Yeah, and mostly the thing when you
Emotionally.
direct. Yeah, and when you direct in language that you don't understand, it's really about instinct, and it's almost like music. So I didn't have a clue what she was saying, and I hope she said the right thing. Still to this day, I don't know. So
that was one of the worst scenes I think I've done in all my films. When the last scene you see where we're sitting and
bench.
she speaks into the camera, and she's going to reveal what she's done, because Pascal was leaving the day after. And we had, and the location where we were supposed to shoot that scene didn't work because with too much sound from people that were having graduation parties. So I literally had 5 minutes because the sun was going down and we didn't have any lightning. So you then play with the natural lights. So I had 2 takes. Yeah. And then when you're stressed and you speak, and it was quite good for the scene. And Pascal asked, did you really say everything you wanted to? I was like, I don't know. I think I did, because I couldn't remember because we were so stressed.
Yeah. So you just everything was shot with natural lighting, no lights, and you just really it's really musical the way you direct people. The same thing with Iceland. You just hope that they said it or something. You trust your actor that they're gonna say the right thing, but it's really after that the tone of how they speak and the slowness or the speak and the delivery. And but there's scenes like when she's on the bench. I think it was 2 takes we did. Svendis when she cries when she get touched for the first time. That was a 1 take. That's it. The whole segment was just 1 take. Then we had to get out because it started raining like crazy. So you pray for gods that everything just works for the best. And but yeah, we were really, really lucky. But everything was just shot, I think, in 10 days, 11 days. And yeah, that shit was fast. So.
So, of course, you will tell us later tomorrow about your working style. But for example, you got into the main church, evangelic church in Reykjavik, just to do the shooting. Did you ask a bishop to can you do it, or just went with camera and
the church?
Shoot? Yeah.
The church. They were really difficult because they think as soon as you say we're going to shoot a film, they think 18 people, trucks, there's so much lighting and everything. So. No, once we explained everything, they were super nice about it. We shot the whole thing. That's in when she was crying, I don't know, in 30 minutes. Then we had to get out. And everything was shot with real location. When you shoot in Iceland, everything is free. And so that's the beauty of it. They don't care about drones. They don't care about anything. But it looks like $1 million, and the horse and everything. And by the way, the horse was her horse. So it was not by mistake. But so it was just, you shoot in beautiful location where it looks like $1 million. And the same thing for the apartment for Liv. It was the Airbnb that I was staying in, and you use that. And then Paris was just all over the place of Paris. And that's the thing, because as long as you don't have a crew, you can shoot anywhere. So it was just the 2 actors, the sound person and me, and you try to be invisible because sometimes you have to shoot with the boom, but mostly it was just shot with the lav mic. So this way you're really invisible and you can just sneak everywhere.
So I would like to ask you about the future films. The next one will have some Polish plots.
Yeah, so I did a new film called All Eyes on Me with the same 2 people from Iceland. And this one I had a girl, Olivia, from... where's she from? I don't know.
From Gdańsk, she's supposed to be.
Is
Yeah.
So yeah, it was again. It was another change of actors that I had to recast, and the actor Godmir says I got a girl from Polish, and so I think she had 1 week and a half, 2 weeks to learn the whole script to come and shoot in Iceland, but yeah. I'm always working with the same actors because it's fast, it's easy, and once they understand the craziness of how to do things, it makes everything so much easier and faster.
And next feature will be a thriller, and you did it with Sarah.
Yeah. So it's
can you say something about this movie?
It was a pain to shoot. No, it was super fun, and it's called A Knife for Revenge, and this one is a whodunit. there's a murder, why, and everything. And that's the thing. Every time the goal to make film for under $10,000 is that you can make a lot of feature film. You don't have to wait 5 years to find the money, and that's kind of one of the beauty. And that's why I work with the same actor, because we understand each other. And this one was shot in I don't remember where, in Germany, in Rome.
In Stockholm. But
Stockholm.
no, Pascal called me and said he wanted to make a new feature film, and I said, well, if we do it, I would like to be part as a producer as well. And we decided to make this film. And as you know, if you see, this film is French-Canadian loves drama, and I'm Swedish, which is Nordic noir sort of, and I love Agatha Christie. So we've done a thriller, but it's very deep anyway, because it's you with your style and a lot of drama inside of it. But it's being Rome. We filmed in Germany, filmed in Stockholm, and it's just finished end of this month or next month.
Yeah, so the goal is the same style, and I'm reusing the same approach. Even the girl with the red hair, Pauline, she was in that film too. So yeah, it's just you recycle the same actors over and over because it's easy, it works. And but yeah, the goal is that every time you do something, you want to make sure it's different, even if the style can be the same. But the goal is just to have just the best time without breaking the bank, you know.
If you film a film like these, you have to really enjoy being as friends together, because you spend so much time together, because it's very intense, because you film every day, costs a lot of money. And this film we've done now, it's in English and Swedish, but and some Italian. Mm.
Yeah, but anyway, April Skies was just a pure project where I was kind of frustrated after my 2 first feature film. I wanted to change the style, so that's why, for example, the elevator shot, you know, when it's spinning and spinning and spinning, it was not in the script. I don't really plan anything. It's really when I go and discover the location for the first time, and then I saw that elevator, and I said, give me one shot, let me try to do something. It's spinning and going down. I had exactly this, the gimbal like this, and it was, and that's the thing, it was shot with the cheapest Fuji camera. I didn't want because my first 2 feature film was shot with the big red camera, and I hated it because it was so heavy and slow. And but that's exactly the same setup. It's just you can make everything so smooth and fun. And so that's why when I saw that elevator, I said, give me one take, let me try to go all the way down. And the goal is to create things with the camera that is fun, different. And this film was just a film where I didn't give a shit. I just wanted to have fun and have fun for myself, to fall in love with cinema again.
And it was a sporty issue to run like this, you know, around the elevator.
It's a workout. You know?
Okay, so there's a time for questions from the audience. So we would like to ask you to ask a question for Pascal, if you have any. Just raise your hand. Oh, so we've got the first volunteer. Bravo.
I don't remember.
You are a liar. You told me Godard and things like that.
It wasn't. I know. I love all my films. It's always about the same thing: toxic relationship. And I love when if you watch all my films, it's always the same thing: people hating each other. But that's why I wanted to just do something completely different for myself, different where I wanted to experiment. That's why even in the film you have the Paris that's really like the 60s Nouvelle Vague, you have the Swedish part that is really like Berman, and you have the Iceland part where it's more Terrence Malick, but I wanted to blend it all with music. But this, I wrote something that I know well, toxic relationship, and then after that I said, let's just blend it all with a style that I think can be entertaining for the audience. But mostly it's I wanted to just make things complicated for me, you know. What is my film influence?
Like directors and styles.
Even if I say that, like I love David Lynch, but there's nothing like David Lynch in that thing. And but I love Berman, you know, Ingmar Bergman from Sweden. I love that, and I love the 60s Nouvelle Vague. And so I was. Say what? Yeah, no. So that was really planned and designed like that, and but then you just, for example, the slamming camera was in the script, but yeah, there's a lot of scenes where you just in the French part I could improv because I speak French, so that's easy. But the two other part, like with Sarah or the Swedish people, I cannot improv because as soon as they change anything that they were doing from the scene, if they change different words, when I'm back home editing, I'm screwed. I have no idea what they're saying. So we really had to stick with the script, and so it was more let's improv with the camera instead of improving with the actor. Yeah, the words we're sticking. Yeah.
Now as we've written the script before together with Pascal, but I wrote my Swedish words. I said every single word exactly like I had told Pascal before.
Yeah.
No. Yes. Ask your question, Miss Martina.
But like with a lot of focus on the texture, and almost like it was a commercial at times. And I was thinking whether you maybe started from the very beginning, like your film adventure, with this sort of style, or maybe developed it somewhere on the way, like. Yeah.
Yeah. So in Montreal, I studied exactly like you guys, film studies, but I've never went to film school for the camera and all that stuff. Never. So, but I love when things pops. When the colors are rich, but everything is planned from the location, from the girl in Iceland, the horse was blonde, the blonde hair, the jacket that was kind of brown. Like everything is planned so that it create a visual. The same thing with her, all black with the sunglasses, with the blonde hair. Like it was really striking. And for me personally, I love when it looks a little bit like a commercial, when everything is so clean and elegant. The apartment was crucial because that's the thing. When you make a film, if you have a shitty location, if it was just a normal apartment, it would have been boring. But the fact that it had so much texture, the walls and the cross, the bed, and so when I saw that location, I said, that's the location. We're going to shoot the whole thing in it. And the same thing with Paris. When we shot with. That's a funny thing is that when we shot in front of the Notre Dame de Paris, the church, it was the day that it got burned. And so that's why I said improv, look into the camera and say, oh, look, shitty things happen again. Because I was supposed to go shoot inside the church and around the church, but everything was closed because it got burned the day that I was supposed to shoot. It was the next day, actually. I was like, fuck. So yeah, you have to improv and go with the flow. And but yeah, so I love when everything is just a style. It's the same thing with her. It was kind of hard to see it here a little bit, but her hair was super red. The green jacket, everything was kind of planned. Her friend Sophie with the blue jacket, the brown hair, blue eyes, like everything is planned. It's not just by like, oh, let's just slap that on you. You have to think about that to create a visual.
Yeah, so some sort of designer style, film designing at its best. Yeah, so yeah, thank you.
Okay, last question maybe. Or maybe two more.
Okay, hi. I have a question because you shot at Paris, and in front of very famous locations like Notre Dame, and you said you tried to be as invisible as possible, but I can still imagine people were curious about what you were doing, and how do you manage that? How do you keep people from, for example, looking into the camera or, bugging you? Is that even possible? Do you try to manage that, or do you just work around that?
So the Louvre, for example, in the beginning of the film, we went so early in the morning that there was not a lot of people. But then after 1 hour of shooting the main part, but the fact that's the thing, is just me with a gimbal like this, running like crazy. And the worst thing is not the camera, is when you have a boom operator with the big boom. That's what people says, oh, they're shooting a film. If it's just me running with this, they just think I'm a tourist. So they don't really care. But one scene that we had to do a bunch is when she walks next to the crowd as she walks backward, and she said, look at those stupid people waiting in line to go see the people. So we had to do it 2-3 times because you had You know, people kind of jumping and stuff like that. I'm like, fuck, stop. But you have to just do it again and do it again. Sometimes you have to change your angle to play with it. But most of it, they didn't care. So I was kind of lucky with it. And that's the thing, with the editing, you just sometimes cut to different angle to just remove those guys. So.
Thank you. So I actually wondered, because you mentioned that you do all the music and sound design by yourself. So could you maybe tell me a bit about your process and how did you go about it?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Thank you.
During the masterclass, yeah, you are welcome to come.
So tomorrow the goal is to really go in deep about the music, how I write the script, how, you know, finding the money, how to I put my own money and stuff. Like I'm gonna ramble for 2 hours about everything, how to make that film and other films with the same style and the structure of how to go along and direct actors, and Sarosh is going to talk about our process, how to be directed. So the goal is to really talk for 2 hours about everything, so that for you guys it inspires you to, you know, to go just do it, because now it's so easy to make films. There's no more excuse. So yeah.
I've got 2 questions. First one is about this last phone call which Pauline receives, and what was this phone call about? My suspicion is that this phone call was about lung transplantation, but you didn't explain it. Actually, did you intend not to explain it? Oh,
yeah, because I think it was kind of. What the goal was you have to think a little bit. I didn't want to say, I got the phone call, hooray, you know? So I wanted to create more of a subtlety about it. But yeah, she did receive it. But now the question is from who? And everyone is always thinking, oh, it's from the manager, the guy, but it's not. So that's why you have to really focus on the subtitles and really pay attention to who. So technically, she got a transplant, but it's from the friend Adele, like the French brunette, that she received a phone call saying, hey, my friend Adele, she's not showing up for work. So if you pay attention with the sound design of the film, you hear a lot of ambulance all around Paris. So to showcase that, you know, Adele, she smashed her. She had an accident, and that's where she died with the manager, because technically it's impossible for the manager to give his heart, because first he's dead, and second he was way too old. He was like 75 years old, because she says in the beginning in Sweden, in Iceland, she says, I don't remember, the last time I remember is when you left, because they almost look the same age. You know. So anyway, so the point, if you pay attention, it was her friend in Paris, Adele, that never showed up. So the brunette, she thinks she wants to save her friend so badly, but she didn't realize that she killed someone. So, but yeah, in the end, everyone has some kind of resolution in a positive way.
Thank you for this explanation, because I didn't catch that, actually. My second question concerns this structure of the film, which is sometimes called network narrative, when we've got 3 seemingly separate stories which somehow interlock in one part. There are many films like that. The most straightforward association which I have is with Babel or Babel by Inarritu, which is also takes place in several countries and people speak different languages, so they are very, very similar. And my first question concerning that is that did you think about this particular film making your own film? And second, what is the message of the structure? Because it seems that that it's about connectivity, that, you know, what we do in some strange way influence other people who perhaps live very far away from us.
Yeah, and that was the whole point, how to connect all those little details. And but yeah, everything is about connectivity, that everything you do, everything you say affects everyone's in your life. And yeah, that's exactly that. But no, I didn't think about Babel. I know about Babel, but I didn't want to just go back and watch it and copy that. I wanted to do my own little twist. But in the end, you never invent anything. Everything is a remix, you know? So you just adapt yourself and try something that fits your style, you know?
I have a question. do you expect us to find some symbols in your movies, or you just want us to experience the visual, the colors, or are there any symbols in your movies?
There's a lot of symbols. So.
Okay, so you expect us to find them. Okay, I'm happy.
Yeah, the goal, for example, the cross, the cross is there in their apartment, the style of apartment, that's why when we had to cast Linnea, the blonde Vera, I had to switch the location, the meaning of the location to fit her personality. That's why when Sarah says, you're your daddy little girl or something like that. So we had to change it to make it fit. But there's the symbolism of about the story, but there's if you watch the horses in Paris when the horses is locked and all that stuff, it's everything is there's a bunch. So
I would say the ghost of the father is a really symbolic figure.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, the last question.
Traditional movie making, so
the loneliness. That's really the sad part. There's nothing more depressing to go make films because I'm alone. So I don't have cheerleaders. I don't have people. Let's go. We have the actors when we're there, but still, it's a lonely writing process. It's when it's time to travel from Montreal to here alone. And so you're always alone. Then when you do the editing, you're alone. So you need, the making a film, that's what I'm going to talk tomorrow. But making a film, it demands a lot of patience, dedication, drive, and you can take a camera and make a movie. Now, do you have the passion and, dedication to go? Because that's the thing. When we arrive and shoot, there's no one. I drive the actors. I feed the actors. I dress the actor. And, so it's, you have a lot on your shoulders. So you need to have the backbone until I met her. So no, with the actor, it's a lot of collaboration for sure. But still, the process of making it, writing it, and then finding those locations, and then when you arrive and the location doesn't work, what do you do? So how do you find plan B, plan C? So, but tomorrow I'm gonna go in details about all of that.
I really thank you for coming in such a large group, and I invite you to come tomorrow and talk to Pascal and ask him as many questions as you can. And I would like to help. Thanks again the Center of Wajda and students of English department for help, and Dr. Maciej Kul and everybody for joining us and
thank you so
us.
much.
Yeah. So take care.